The NAACP is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year, and this is the final day of its 100th annual convention. It's in New York City, and tonight, President Barack Obama will address the convention. Not only is the nation's oldest civil rights organization celebrating 100 years, but Obama is, of course, the first African American elected as president. And joining us now to discuss the status of African Americans in the Valley is Chanda McGuffin, president of the Stanton branch of the NAACP. Chanda, thanks for joining us.
Sure.
Now let's begin with tonight's speech by President Obama. How big is it that in your 100th year, America has an African American president?
I believe it's one of the largest things that we can really highlight this year for us in 100 years, because it gives us confirmation that the struggle that we have been fighting for over the last 100 years has finally been realized, and we have an opportunity to capitalize on that by having the first African American president of the United States.
How has Obama done for the African American community so far as president?
Well, I think that Obama has brought reinforcement to the old adage, I can do anything. He has instilled in young people that they can be anybody that they choose to be if they work hard at it. But I do not think that President Obama is a president for African Americans alone, but for Americans and the American dream, all Americans. So I like to just highlight that, as far as, and our branch is really special on making sure that we are not just an African American organization, but that we are an organization that reaches out to all that will have justice and equality within society.
Now, if you were there tonight, what would you like to hear from Obama?
I would like to hear Obama's plan that he is committed to and that he is confident in to revitalize our economy and to rebuild our economy, and that we will be able to, as a America, be able to work together to succeed at this. Because at this time, I want to hear realistic goals, and I want to hear that we're making baby steps, but that we have a committed plan that we're going to stick to as an American government.
How would you assess the status of African Americans here in the Shenandoah Valley?
Since President Obama came into office?
Or in general?
In general, I believe that we're the same. I believe that there's affluent African Americans here, there's middle class, and there's poor here. I believe that, you know, the status has not changed for African Americans in the community. I believe that it's still the same, and I believe that we have become a little more focused on working together, and I hope to attribute some of that to the leadership within the Stanton branch NAACP as well.
And speaking of the NAACP, how would you assess their status here in the Valley?
Well, I think with the election of President Obama, I believe that we saw people from all walks of life within our community and the NAACP come together during the election. We are a bipartisan organization. We do not endorse one candidate or another, or one political party or another, but we do, you know, individuals can represent who they would like to represent in individuals. So I believe that we have a togetherness more in the community since the election.
What would you say the primary function is or will be for the NAACP here in the Valley?
We will continue to stabilize as we are. We continually have cases of racial discrimination. We have this year represented and worked with men, women, all different races of people that have come with a dispute, and we actively investigate those claims. And so I think that we will continue to do that, as well as we will continue to reach out to different parts of the community and the school systems and things of that nature. So we will continue to be on that same wavelength.
All right. Chanda McGuffin, president of the Stanton branch of the NAACP, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Now let's send it back to Mel in Stanton.